You don't take the job because you want to. You take it because it's there, because it pays more than the others, because it sounds temporary, because the contract says 1 year, and 1 year feels like something you can survive. That's the first thing. You think in terms of survival, not danger, not fear, just endurance. The email is brief. Cultural liaison position. Housing provided. Meals included. No company name in the subject line. Just a government domain. You read it twice, then a third time slower, because something about the wording feels intentional. Not vague, controlled. You tell yourself it's just another job. A strange one maybe, but still a job. People work everywhere. That's the logic you use. The flight is quiet. Not empty, just quiet in a way that makes you aware of your own breathing. The other passengers don't talk much. When they do, it's low, measured, like every word has already been approved before it's spoken. You notice that. You don't think about it too much. Not yet. At the airport, there's no confusion, no crowding, no one rushing. Everything moves at the same pace, a pace that doesn't belong to any individual person. It belongs to the place. A man is waiting for you. He doesn't hold a sign. He already knows who you are. He says your name before you say his. His handshake is firm, not warm, just correct. He introduces himself as Mr. Han. He says he'll be assisting you. You assume that means he's your guide, your translator, your something. The word doesn't fully form. On the drive into the city, you look out the window. The streets are wide, cleaner than you expected, less movement than you expected too. There are people, but they move with purpose. No one lingers. No one stops without reason. You try to check your phone. No signal. You expected that. Still, you check again, just in case. Mr. Han notices. He says, "Communication will be arranged for you." You nod. You don't ask what that means. That's the second thing. You stop asking small questions. Your apartment is on the 12th floor. The building is identical to the others around it. Same height, same color, same windows. From the outside, it looks like a copy. From the inside, it feels curated. There's furniture. Minimal but complete. A table, a bed, a chair placed near the window. Not randomly, deliberately, as if someone thought about how you would sit. There's a television, already on, muted, a program playing that you don't understand. You don't turn it off, you just lower the volume further. He shows you the kitchen, the bathroom, the schedule printed neatly on the table. Meals, work hours, free time. The phrase stands out. Free time. It feels labeled. He leaves after 14 minutes. Not 13, not 15. You notice that. You don't know why. The first night is quiet. Not peaceful, just quiet in a way that fills the room. You sit in the chair by the window, because it feels like that's where you're supposed to sit. The city doesn't change much at night. Lights stay consistent. Movement doesn't increase or decrease. It just continues. You sleep, eventually. The first day at work is simple. You translate documents, review cultural materials, sit in meetings where people speak carefully, not slowly, just carefully. You notice something. Everyone pauses before answering, even simple questions. What time is the meeting? Pause, then answer. It's subtle, but it's there. Mr. Han is always nearby. Not in the room, but close enough you feel it, like someone standing just outside your peripheral vision. At lunch, you're seated with two coworkers. They smile. They ask about your home country. Their questions are polite, structured, like they've been asked before. You answer. They nod. They don't follow up. The conversation moves on. You tell yourself it's just cultural difference. That's what you keep telling yourself. Day 3. You notice the television is always on when you return home, even when you're sure you turned it off. You test it. You unplug it before leaving. When you come back, it's plugged in again. On. Muted. You stand there for a moment, looking at it, like it might explain itself. It doesn't. That's the third thing. Things don't explain themselves here. They just are. Day 5. Your schedule changes. Slightly. Not dramatically. Just enough that you don't remember approving it. You ask Mr. Han. He says, adjustments improve efficiency. You nod. Because that sounds reasonable. It is reasonable. That's what makes it difficult. Day 7. You stop checking the schedule because it's always correct, always updated, always ahead of you. You start noticing patterns, the way your day unfolds before you fully decide it, the way small choices disappear, replaced by better ones, more efficient ones. You eat when the schedule says. You rest when the schedule says. You work when the schedule says. It feels easier. That's the problem. Day 10. You try to do something unscheduled, just to see. You walk a different route after work, not far, just a turn you haven't taken before. Mr. Han is there, waiting, not surprised. He says, this way is better. You don't ask how he knew. You just follow. That night, you think about it longer than you should. Day 14. You realize you haven't felt stressed in days. Not really. Everything runs smoothly, predictably. But there's something else, a kind of absence. The small friction of life. Gone. Day 18. You receive a report. Weekly performance. Your productivity is higher than before. Your efficiency has improved. Your adaptation level is noted. You don't remember being evaluated. Day 21. You ask Mr. Han directly, how is all of this tracked? He pauses, just slightly, then says, we observe patterns. You think about that sentence later because it doesn't actually answer the question. Day 25. You stop trying to make unscheduled decisions. Not consciously, it just happens. You wait for the day to tell you what it is, instead of deciding it yourself. That's the fourth thing. You adjust, without noticing when it starts. Day 30. You dream about your old life. Not dramatically, just small things. Choosing what to eat, wasting time, being late. You wake up feeling something you haven't felt in a while. Uncertainty. It doesn't last. The schedule is already waiting. Day 36. You realize something. You haven't made a real decision in weeks. Not one that wasn't already guided. You try to remember the last time you chose something completely on your own. You can't. Day 40. You ask Mr. Han one more question. What happens if I stop following the schedule? This time, there's no pause. He says, you won't. Not threatening, not aggressive, just certain. And the part that stays with you isn't the answer. It's how easily you accept it. Because he's right. Day 45. You sit by the window again. Same chair, same position. The city looks the same, because it is. You think about leaving. Not physically, conceptually. What it would mean to step outside the system. To choose something without permission. You imagine it, but the thought doesn't fully form. Because you don't know what that choice would look like anymore. That's the last thing. Not the control, not the observation. The forgetting. You don't notice when it happens, only that it already has. The television is still on, muted, always. You don't turn it off anymore because it feels like part of the room, like the chair, like the schedule, like you. And somewhere in the day you don't fully remember starting, you stop wondering if you're being watched, because the question changes. Not, are you being watched, but what part of you is still yours if you are? The answer doesn't come. The schedule does.